Howdy folks, and welcome back to Cold Waters with Commander Jingles McJingleberry, Commanding Officer of the USS Augusta, Los Angeles-class fast attack boat. We're currently trying to intercept a bunch of Soviet guided missile submarines that have been wreaking havoc on the transatlantic convoys. And on the way there, we found and sunk ourselves a Romeo, and we've just been intercepted by what looks like a surface action group of the Red Banner Northern Fleet. This is not our mission. We're out here looking for guided missile submarines, but, well, those pesky Russians just won't stop interfering. So I have two choices here. I can either evade and continue my search for the guided missile submarines, or I can sink everything and let God sort them out. I think we're going to go with option 2. The sonar team's just re-established contact with Sierra 1. Now the solution isn't fantastic, but he's estimated damn close, too close for comfort. Gonna get to work classifying that contact. Anything up here is going to be an enemy. I'm right off the Soviet back door. I'm only a couple of hundred miles north of Murmansk. Oh, that looks like a Kara-class guided missile cruiser. Well, NATO called them guided missile cruisers, which was technically correct, but the Soviets called them anti-submarine warfare cruisers. Those things are really, really nasty. He's got lots and lots of point defences, so a missile attack is out of the question. And he's probably too close for a harpoon shot, even if I had one loaded. So we're going to make this a torpedo shot. Bearing around about 220 degrees, range to activation, Mark 48, tube 1, 8,200 yards. We fire the weapon, we lose the wire, and we immediately start slipping below the layer and lose contact with the Kara. At least I think it's a Kara. I'm pretty sure it's a Kara. I'm pretty sure that guy isn't actually actively searching for me. I mean, he's actively searching. We can hear his active sonar banging away, but, well, of course he is. He's an anti-submarine warfare cruiser. He's patrolling the approaches to Murmansk, so yeah, he's searching with his active sonar. But I'm not convinced he's actively prosecuting a target. I don't think he actually has me as a contact, because I didn't hear his helicopter. And if he did, I mean, I was banging in here at 26 knots when we went to battle stations. But this is a very noisy environment. The ambient noise level is 109 decibels. That's loud. And when I started the mission, okay, I was doing 26 knots, but I was well below a very strong thermal layer. And I was deep enough that I wasn't cavitating, so there's an excellent chance he has no idea that I'm in the area, and he's just doing a routine active sonar sweep. There's also a very good chance he doesn't even realise he's under attack yet. At the same time, however, he is a Kara-class cruiser, and when he does realise he's under attack, all hell is likely to break loose. He's armed with SSN-14 anti-submarine missiles. He can launch a torpedo from one of those missiles and drop it right on top of where he thinks I am. Also, his helicopter is going to be a significant pain in the arse, so I don't want to be where I was when I fired that torpedo. I'm not anxious on giving up the element of stealth just yet, however. I've gone ahead to 2/3. We're doing 10 knots. What I could do is, I mean, I don't have a huge amount of depth to play around with, but I could drop down to 500 feet depth and go all ahead full. Make my speed 20 knots and get a lot more distance between where I am when he realises he's under attack and where I was when I fired the torpedo. And I am considering doing just that when the sonar team reacquire the contact. Now, I'm not doing anything different than what I was doing before. I couldn't hear him before, once I dropped below the layer, but I can hear him now. Why would that be? He must be generating more noise. That's the most obvious explanation. And for him to be generating more noise, he's either suddenly going a hell of a lot faster, possibly because he's just detected a torpedo in the water, or he's a lot closer than he was before. Either of those two explanations are not good news. It's still a terrible contact, although it is firming up. I'm not convinced of the range estimate. But now we've got his speed, and he's doing 17 knots. That's still just cruising speed, so Wait, no, he's going faster. I think he's just detected my torpedo. Now he's doing 23 knots. We don't have his course. I'd like to have his course. That would tell me whether or not he was making evasive maneuvers. He's going a heck of a lot faster. He must have detected the torpedo. I can't even hear my own torpedo at the moment. Oh, we've got him. Yes. Yeah. That explains a lot. That explains why we suddenly detected him again. He had spotted the torpedo and he'd gone full ahead, generating a hell of a lot more noise. I'm not hearing his helicopter. That's incredibly good news. We've just sunk ourselves a Kara-class cruiser. That's a big ship. It's a very, very dangerous ship. And I'm pretty sure he never once during the course of that engagement held me as a contact. Not my mission though. Yay, we sank a Kara. Yeah, but we're out here hunting guided missile submarines. Whoa, wait a second. Active sonar. Did you hear that? The Kara wasn't alone. Right, so there are still enemy vessels nearby. Before we can resume our mission, we're either going to have to sink them or escape from them. So we're going to come up to periscope depth and we're going to raise the ESM mast, because if anybody has just seen that Kara get blown out of the water, they're going to be radiating on radar, they're going to have their surface search radar going, trying to spot periscopes, they're going to have contact reports going out on the radio, they're going to be generating a lot of electromagnetic noise. So we're going to see if we can pick something up with the ESM mast first. The boat is at periscope depth, we've raised the mast, and there are some signal sources out there. You can see the smoke column. It looks like the Kara has finally sunk and the smoke column's just dissipating now. And oh, there we go. We now have a positive ESM contact, designated Echo 2. The Echo just indicates that it was detected via ESM. All our other contacts up until now have been Sierra 1, Sierra 2, Sierra 3, and so on and so on. And that just indicates that they were detected by sonar. When you upgrade a contact to Master 1 or Master 2, that just means that you've held that contact on more than one sensor. So in the case of the Kara over there, we've picked it up on ESM and on sonar. So that's now Master 1. Echo 2, however, well, we've lost contact with it because we lowered the ESM mast. I do have a bearing. The range estimate is very much just an estimate with an ESM contact, however. We've detected a particular type of radar. That's basically what's happened. We know it's a Soviet radar, so we know that it's an enemy contact. What we don't know, or what we would need to know in order to estimate the range to that contact, is exactly how much power they were pushing out through their emitter. If we did know that, and because we do know exactly what radar was emitting, then based on the signal strength received by our ESM mast, we would be able to generate a fairly reliable estimate of the range to the contact. But we don't know how much power they were pushing out, so we've got no way of knowing exactly how far away he was. That initial range estimate of 52,000 yards, that's very much just an estimate. What would be really cool is if we could, for example, well, we've already gained a contact on Echo 2 via ESM, but what would be cool is if we could use direction finding. And, for example, we've got our initial contact, I think the bearing was about 236 degrees, and then drop down again, go nice and deep, sprint 10 kilometers in another direction, come back up to periscope depth, raise our ESM mast again, and take another line of bearing to the target. And then we could basically draw two different lines on our plot from where we were with the bearing to the first ESM contact to where we are now with the second bearing to that ESM contact, and where those two lines converge, that would give us a pretty good idea of exactly where that contact was. Unfortunately, we can't actually do that, which is a bit of a shame. New sonar contact, bearing 265, contact re-established, contact Echo 2, now upgraded to Master 2. We have now held contact Master 2 on both ESM and sonar. So let's get to work classifying this thing. That's looking like a Cannon class destroyer. That would tally up actually, because I'm not hearing any helicopters. The cannon's too small to carry its own helicopter. Although it can land a helicopter, but it can't operate one. It does have a landing pad, but it doesn't have aviation facilities. It may be able to refuel a helicopter. Possibly. I'm not sure. What it does have, however, are RBU 6000 anti-submarine rocket launchers. They, however, only have a range of 6,000 yards, and he appears to be comfortably outside of that range. So, firing point procedures, tube 1. Bearing 262 degrees, range 6,700 yards, fire tube 1. This is one of those situations where I really should have waited for my target solution to improve. It's going to cost me a torpedo. I've estimated his range at 11,100 yards-ish when I fired off the torpedo. And I set the torpedo activation distance to 6,700 yards. So plenty of time for that torpedo to find the target and sink it long before he gets inside RBU 6000 weapon range. Unfortunately, he's not 11,000 yards away. He's actually a lot closer. Just a few seconds later, my target solution improves dramatically and shortens the range. And what that now means is my torpedo is going to pass by him harmlessly long before it activates and starts searching for a target. And, well, providing you still have the command wire, there is a way of actually activating the torpedo instantly. You just tell the torpedo, go active, start searching for a target. But I couldn't remember what the keyboard shortcut was. I think it's Shift 4. But I couldn't remember at the time. If I'd just done that, the torpedo would have gone, oh, rise and shine, wakey wakey, target right in front of me, bang, sunk the cannon. Even if I couldn't remember what the command was to activate the torpedo, if I'd just retained the command wire, rather than cutting it and loading a fresh torpedo into the tube, the torpedo doesn't have that much further to go before it goes active. Just a few more 100 yards and it's going to go active of its own accord. And if I'd retained the wire, I could have just turned it around and gone straight back the way I came and bang, sunk the cannon. There you go, the torpedo's just gone active. It was that close. But I didn't retain the wire, and so that torpedo is now looking for a target in front of it, and there isn't a target there. So I'm going to have to expend another weapon. Firing point procedures, tube 1. Again, bearing 312, range really damn close, 1,800 yards. Fire tube 1. One way or another, this is going to be over relatively quickly. Let's see if we can keep control of the wire this time. Now that cannon has definitely gone to brown alert. Our first weapon passed directly underneath him. He's probably wondering why he's still alive. In fact, you know, if we'd been firing an old World War II era torpedo, and if you play this game in the 1960s campaign, those are exactly the weapons that you had. That would have been a kill on the cannon with the first weapon that we fired at him. Because that shot was bang on target. Anyway, we've got him with this one, no question about it. The weapon is active, I now have control. I'm steering the torpedo manually using the numeric keypad. Making our depth shallow. Oh, careful, maybe a little too shallow. We've got him. There's no way he's escaping this. As that torpedo looked like it went airborne for a second. Oh, and again, what's going on here? Doesn't matter, he's dead. That was never in any doubt once we got the second torpedo away. At that kind of range, there's just no way. Okay, listen out. I'm hearing ships breaking up. I'm not hearing any other active sonar. I'm not hearing any helicopters. There is still a weapon in the water. It's the second torpedo that I fired, but I think we're good. I think there was just the two of them out here. Not my mission. I'm still supposed to be out here hunting guided missile submarines, but, well, the fact that there was an anti-submarine warfare surface action group in the area where I was hunting Soviet submarines, and now there isn't because I've sunk them, is good news. It hopefully should make my job that little bit easier. Of course, I still have to find those guided missile submarines. Let's just make sure that there isn't anything else up here. And I'm not seeing any ESM contacts. Just the wreck of the cannon. No aircraft, no MPAs, no helicopters, nothing on ESM, nothing on sonar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was it. So, I've now failed not once but twice at finding my actual designated mission target, although we have made a very nice fireworks display out of one attack boat, one cruiser and one destroyer. There's the cannon. Yeah. I suspect the Admiral is not going to be pleased, however, so we're going to have to hang around and hopefully ambush these guided missile boats as they return from wreaking havoc on the transatlantic convoys further to the west. We're in the correct mission patrol area. They should turn up, hopefully before too long. Join me next time when, with any luck, we're going to find the right submarines and we're going to sink them. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.